we had to get it out of this experimental mode. And I guess the first stage for that was to really establish and found the ISO standard for blockchain. So this is TC 307. So I did that in 2015. And the idea behind that was to create a way where we can have a mass collaboration to work on the technology at an international level. And that's what's happened. So now we've got 53 countries working together to standardize blockchain across the world. And that includes organizations, startups, government, enterprise, academia, everyone. And so we set out to then bring it up into the mainstream. By standardizing the technology, we then built the platform. And so working on the ISO standards, we then built Overledger following that. And the whole idea is to bring the mass adoption of blockchain.
Good morning, y'all, and welcome back to my channel. Thank y'all so much for tapping back in to see what I have to say. I promise y'all, it truly does mean the world to me. But with that being said, what are we talking about? We're talking about Quant Network in this one. Okay, you guys? Now, I know you just saw that clip of Gilbert talking about the creation of ISO TC 307. It started back, I believe the first concept was 2015. It actually was birthed in 2016 and it's been growing and building since then. We're almost a decade into that standard being a reality where you've had multiple governments, central banks, and multinational corporations coming together, building out blockchain and distributed technology standards. Okay, you guys? So we've had an update from Gilbert about ISO TC 307, okay? More importantly, understand that Gilbert sits over the interoperability section of the standardization of blockchain and distributed ledger technologies via ISO TC 307. He has said that there's been several standards that have already gone live, and there's other ones that's in the literally just a few short months away from actually being a reality as well. There are things happening on major scales when it comes to blockchain and distributed ledger technologies. And Quant Network is a major part of making that a global reality. I'm not just saying that. I truly do mean it, because once you get a standard, and you get an even playing field that everybody agrees on and understands so that the technology can flourish and grow just like the internet did. That's why we have seamless global internet, because it is all backed by a standard. Okay, you guys, these things that Quant Network are working on diligently in the background will be the difference between Web3 flopping and Web3 truly becoming a reality, because they don't want siloed sandboxes just me and my friends can play. They want a global sandbox for anyone in the world to be able to interoperate seamlessly with anyone else, whether it comes to money or any other type of transaction as far as stocks, bonds, securities, equities, commodities. Understand what's truly happening right now with Quant Network and Overledger, the software as a service. But we're getting ready to hop into, there was so LACchain, which we've talked about before, which are those 12 Central and South American countries building out their digital processes. Well, there's something called LNet, okay? That right there, Gilbert was a guest on, and he had an interview talking about the standardization and the roadmap of where they are versus where he see it going. Truly understand and see, when you have multiple different global standard organizing bodies you're working hand in hand with, which is what I talk about in this video that's coming up, understand that the reality of where this space will be in 4 years, and then in 8 years, and then in 12 years, and truly see that QNT is the token that powers the interconnectedness of every single network in the world. Okay, you guys, but here we go. This interview coming from Gilbert talking about this update in the roadmap or progression of ISO TC 307, and I will be right back.
So I guess the status is standards are being developed. They are very close to publication. We already have a few that have come out from ISO TC 307. There's a lot of cross collaboration from different standards bodies. So, across the EU, across international bodies, IEEE, etc., ITUT. So there's a lot of work that's being done and harmonization on that. And there's real tangible, standards that people can start using today. And that's great to see, because, we don't want to build things that don't work together, and we don't want to build things that are not standardized. And as institutions, most people rely on standards. So it's a great way for the mainstream adoption of DLT, because it's standardized, it'll be more trusted, and there'll be more adoption of it.
Now, you just heard everything directly from Quant Network CEO mouth in regards to ISO TC 307 and the new announcements of what's actually taking place with some of the committees that have already gone live. Other committees are right at the cusp of going live. And again, how he sits over the interoperability of it all, which is Working Group 7. He is the convener in chief of Working Group 7 of that particular standard. Okay, you guys, these standards matter. 50 plus countries, 60 plus countries, however many countries it is, the fact that the countries are there, that is major, because those countries and them countries being there solidify the use case and legitimacy of Web3 processes throughout the economy of those countries. Okay, you guys, this is a big deal. This is nothing not to truly tap in and truly understand and see what Overledger is, what QNT is, and what the future is being built out right in front of our faces via standards and internet protocols, which is SATP out of the IETF as well. Truly see, okay, you guys. But for those who may not be too familiar with ISO TC 307, we're going to do just a slightly deeper deep dive into it. You'll see a map. You'll see a couple of the countries. You'll see a couple of the big players, like as far as companies, like I believe IBM and Microsoft. Like you'll see. Follow me on this. I'm always going somewhere. A little bit deeper into ISO TC 307 come from my boy NCASH Official. Bro, you rock. And I will be right back.
Beyond that, right? When we actually look at this standard, this is the standard that means the most around this space, because this is going to allow blockchain and DLT to be tapped in for all of those major countries that are already working on ISO TC 307 or participating within it. This is a big deal. And you could see some of the companies as well that are centered out on this. Some of these organizations, like I said, are very large organizations. You have IBM on here, you have Microsoft, you have HSBC, and there's so many other ones as well. And this is, again, from like 2019, 2020. So today you can actually see a lot more of the groups by just going to this link. And under here, you could read all of the major names tied to it. You could also see the committee members themselves, and also the other committees or committees under this as well. Again, all of this is heavily focused out on finance, healthcare services, agriculture, carbon credits, things like that. And guess what? This is everything that we have been talking about for a while regarding crypto and the adoption of crypto to really kind of alleviate the pain points around a lot of these industries, including, like I've said, healthcare, finance, agriculture, even carbon credits. So you need to heavily focus on ISO TC 307 when it comes to Quant, because they've created this standard, and this standard is going to be heavily adopted in globally, and it already is technically. And here we have from Gilbert Verdian himself back in December of 2022. There is more to blockchain interoperability than merely choosing the right technology. As Gilbert Verdian explains, it requires global collaboration. That's why we're working with ISO standards to create the blockchain standard, ISO TC 307. Again, listen closely to this video to really understand how significant this standard is.
What we set out to do was really shape where the industry should go. And we've taken a very collaborative global approach to this by shaping what the standards should be and establishing different types of standards at different levels within different international organizations. So they're all worked on collaboratively with the industry, and they're all agreed with all members and all participants of the industry. So it's not forcing standards on top of existing systems or vendors or technology. It's actually collaboratively coming up with what a standard has to be for the industry to adopt. So that's the work that we've done with ISO, with ISO TC307, which is the blockchain ISO standard. The concept of that was to create something similar to the payment standards that we have, like 222. Separate to that, we've been collaborating on numerous levels in numerous governments and other organizations, but we've also started creating protocol standards within the IETF and with MIT.
Now you saw all of those countries. You saw literally that map. Truly understand and see, this is literally have been a global effort by the most powerful nations in the world and different facets that sit within that nation. Because if you think about it, just America alone would have places, people like academia. They will also have things like the banking sector in there. You will have different people in that committee coming together. And they might have people in multiple different committees. It's 8 of them. Truly piecing out the economy of Web3 and how is it going to be integrated into the traditional internet and economy of today. You don't have the IMF, the head of the IMF, literally telling the world that we're moving to digital money for no reason. You know, have a video coming out about it. Check it out. It's coming soon. Truly understand that you have people on that same stage of the head of the IMF from the World Bank also talking about the digitization, talking about stable coins, talking about tokenized deposits, talking about literally the tokenization of economies. And to know that we're right here in 2025, this is what October, mid-October of 2025, and understand what 2026 means when all of the announcements from the past 3 or 4 years start to truly start being in motion and starting the first precipice of utility in motion, because they're moving out of their sandboxes and they're moving into the real space of you and I, just like those six commercial banks in the UK coming out saying that we're now tokenizing our deposits, and Quant Network is giving the backbone of it all. Truly see that they are now starting to move out of those sandboxes and into the environment of you and I, the real world public ledgers, so that this can be massively adopted on many different levels. Remember, there's things like digital ID that's tied to this, not just the digitization of money and assets and securities, things like the digitization of property, things like the Internet of Things. Because people don't realize that really is a thing. The Internet of Things, you're going to have so many things throughout our lives connected directly into the internet that will be able to have agents, AI agents, interoperating with them. Things like, I promise you guys, your refrigerators and your stoves, your washers, your dryers. It's going to come a point in time where your dishwasher is going to know that you're low on detergent, and it's going to be able to seamlessly order detergent for itself, based off of a smart contract that you have set up in regards to the process of how you order your detergent. Like, truly understand and see the Web3 web that is truly being built out. And think about what a spider does. It starts in the middle with that web and it just works its way out. And that's what's happening right now. It's the workout of this massive global web being formed. Truly, and understand that the interconnectedness of all of that web is Overledger, Quant Network software as a service. Whether it's announced or not announced, remember, it's white labeled. Understand what that means when it comes to the utilization of the network. No matter if they scream Quant from the mountaintops or tell their clients that it's them providing this service, the utilization of the network is inevitable. Understand what QNT is, understand what you hold. If you made it all the way through this entire video, type in ISO TC 307, the global standard for building on blockchain, but just the ISO TC 307 part. Okay, you guys, I really appreciate y'all rocking these videos like this about standards. It's not very sexy, but it matters because it literally is building out infrastructure that all of us on so many different facets of our lives will be running on in just a few short years. They're at the point of now codifying law. After law is deployment of the technology. And we're at the doorstep of that happening, you guys. Truly see where we sit in 2025 and understand where we're going 2026 and beyond. Okay, you guys, I appreciate y'all. Again, if you made it all the way through this entire video, type in ISO TC 307, and that way I know you rocked with your boy all the way through to the end, to the next time. I truly appreciate y'all. Peace out.